Hello, good morning students. See, welcome back to our e-learning session and this is your fifth lecture of accounts chapter number 9. See, in our last session we complete our illustration number 5, right? I told you at that time that illustration number 4 is completed. Now illustration number 5, 6, 7 and 8, 4 illustration are and 9, 5 illustration are not in your syllabus because of COVID-19. Government cancelled the syllabus, and that syllabus we will discuss in our regular session in school. Okay, so right now I am skipping that and we will move forward to our next topic that I already give you to read that topic, that is topic number 10, classification of ledger. I am reading that. See here, we'll start that topic, that is theory. See here, number of accounts drawn in ledger depends upon the quantum of the financial transactions of the business. How many accounts you have to prepare in your ledger, that is depends on the business. That means if your business is very big, then you have more accounts. You are connected with more businessmen. That's why more accounts you have to prepare in your ledger. Or if your business is a small business, then very low or very small accounts are there here in your business in the ledger. Okay, if the number of accounts are reasonable, the ledger book will not become too bulky. If number of accounts are 10, 20, 50 or less than 100, that means what? Your ledger book is not bulky. It's small book, right? But if the number of accounts are more, the volume of the ledger book becomes too bulky. It's maybe, see, in the business day-to-day transactions, more than 100 traders or more than 100 transactions are there, then you have to prepare a big ledger book for that, and many of the accounts, more of the accounts you have to prepare in your ledger books. Okay, so it becomes too bulky. If there is only one book of ledger, the work of the posting cannot be divided between the more than one person. See, if only one ledger book is there, see, more than thousands accounts you have to prepare in your ledger accounts, then one person cannot handle it, because one person cannot prepare a ledger or into the ledger more than 1000 accounts, as well as not posting them as properly. Okay, so one cannot handle it, one person. At this stage, on the basis of the certain criteria, all the accounts are classified into different divisions. When more than one ledger are maintained by classifying all the accounts of the ledger, it is known as division of ledger. See, more than one accounts are there. See, we have to divide it in a different divisions and then return, then posting. See, if the purchase, sales, all the departments are there, then that division must be maintained by one person, the second division maintained by the other person, and so on. So if different persons are maintain their different accounts, that then you can say that this type of ledger books, or it is maintained, right? Division of the ledger or classification of ledger, it is known as now subdivision of ledger. It is known as division of ledger or classification of ledger. It is also called subdivision of ledger or subsidiary ledger. See, subdivision of ledger means what? If ledger accounts, ledger book is only one, in that different all the accounts are we have to prepare. But if we know that, see, if we want to know, we know that more than 1000 or more than 2000 accounts are affected in our accounts, then different types of accounts are maintained in different division, and that is called division of ledger or subsidiary ledger or subdivision of ledger. Okay, by these more than one books are maintained for the ledger, movements of the books movements of the books becomes more easy and the work distribution can be done very easily. Even in the computer age, the importance of the subsidiary ledger is maintained. See, before the computer before the, we are whenever we are not using the computer, only the books we are maintained. At that time subdivision of ledger is there, but right now we are using the computer, so no ledger, no, there is also a subdivision of ledger is there, and in the computer we have to maintain also subdivision of the ledger. Okay, in the computer age, the importance of the subsidiary ledger is also maintained. Classification of the ledger can be done in a various ways considering the receivables, payables and the other accounts. See, more transactions regarding into one business is purchase, or you can say credit purchase. Second, sales, or you can say credit sales. You have to remember these two accounts compulsory, because we have to give some money for the credit purchase in future, and we have to take some money from the for the credit sales in future. So we have to remember these two accounts compulsory. So here the accounts is connected is creditors account, and here the accounts is connected is debtors account, right? So here you can say it's a payable accounts and it's a receivable accounts, and these two accounts means what? All the transactions regarding purchase and sales are divided here. Purchase return, sales return are connected with these two, right? So payable and receivable two are most important or more affected accounts, right? So one can maintain purchase, or you can say payables account, one can maintain receivable, that is debtors account, and the different other accounts are maintained by the third person. So here the ledgers are divided into three categories. First one, payables, receivables and the others. The following types of classification are generally adopted by the most of the traders. First is the ledger of individuals. This is called a ledger of individuals. If the ledger of individuals is okay, it's not more than 1000, then it maintained by one person. Payable and receivable both are maintained by the one person. And the second, general ledger. All the other accounts, that is furniture account and you can say cash account, all the other accounts are maintained in general ledger. And receivable payables is only connected with the individuals. Okay, so here the individual accounts, that is first part is ledger of individuals, that is receivable or payables, and the second ledger of general ledger, general accounts, right? First we are discussing about the first point, ledger of individuals. What is that? One of the objects of maintain the accounts is to get the information regarding receivable and payables of the business at any point of time easily and quickly. If I want to pay somebody amount, whatever the amount, how can we find out that? We find out on the basis of these payables. I have to pay to somebody. What means of that? That means I am purchasing some goods and I am not paying at that time. I am paying right now because I have money, and I am getting a credit for more than 15 days to give the money. Okay, so what amount and at what time we want to pay the money, that we decide on the basis of these payables. As well as same here at the debtors, what amount we have to receive at today, from today to this week, what amount we have to receive, that we can find out from the receivables. Okay, so here main thing of the business is, here the one thing is what amount we have to pay today and what amount we have to receive today quickly and easily. If we want to find out that, then you have to see the receivable and payable accounts. Okay, that is the main part of the business. Accounts of the traders, from the whom the goods are purchased on credit, are creditors, and the accounts customers from the goods are sold on credit are debtors account. This called individuals account. These creditors and these debtors accounts, I told you already that is these creditors and these debtors accounts are individual accounts, and this is also called a payable receivable account, and that's why we have to maintain it, because main thing of the business is this. The main thing of the business is purchase and sales. Each and every business make purchase and sales, and on the basis of that, if it is credit sales or credit purchase, then creditors and debtors accounts is maintained, and on the basis of creditors and debtors, the main accounts is creditors and debtors account for each and every business, and we have to maintain it, because here our credit is there. Whenever our credit goodwill is there, that we have to pay within a 15 days or within a stipulated time to the creditors, as well as if we don't want any bad debts, okay, then we have to receive time to time from the debtors. So we have to know about whatever the amount is payable and whatever amount is receivable at the some time, at the daily basis, okay, and it is quickly done on the basis of only these ledger accounts, this ledger of individual, okay. See, a separate ledger of business creditors goods is kept and is known as creditors ledger, that is purchase ledger. See, on the basis of this, creditors, here creditors ledger, or you can say the second name of these is purchase ledger. We have to maintain for the purchase, or you can say credit purchase, or you can say creditors, compulsory. And for the credit sales or debtors, here we have to maintain a debtors ledger, or you can say sales ledger. In the purchase ledger, all the creditors account is maintained. In the sales ledger, all the debtors account is maintained. Okay, if we want to know how many debtors are there and what we want from at what time, that is we can see only in the sales ledger, and whatever we have to pay can see in the purchase ledger. Okay, I am reading that again. A separate ledger of the business creditors goods, creditors for only goods, not creditors for the other accounts. See, creditors for furniture, creditors for other stationery and other things is not a creditors, and it is not maintained in this purchase ledger. That creditors is maintained. See, this is a general expenses, and that's why it is maintained in the general ledger. Okay, creditors of furniture, creditors of stationery, if I am not paying any amount to anybody. See, creditors of salary also, I am not paying salary to my employee for 1 month, so that is also my creditors. But that creditors is not creditors for the goods. Creditors for the goods is only maintained in the purchase ledger. The other creditors are maintained in general ledger, in general accounts, right? Okay, in the same way, a separate ledger for the business debtors of the goods is kept, and it is known as debtors ledger or the sales ledger. Beside this, the creditors ledger and the debtors ledger can also be further classified as per the requirement of the business as under in the following additional subdivision. See, the main division is if your business is up to 1 or 2,000 accounts, and here the accounts is maintained by one person, that is okay. Or if it is not maintained by one person, more than 1,000 creditors are there, more than 1,000 debtors are there, that means more accounts are there, we have to maintain for the receivable and payables. Then this purchase ledger and sales ledger also subdivided into first alphabetically and the area wise. This purchase ledger as well as sales ledger is distributed or subdivided in a different criteria. First criteria is alphabetically, A to Z, the debtor's name or the creditor's name starting with A from Z. Okay, so A to K is maintained by one person, and then the remaining is maintained by the other persons. because how many debtors are there, how many creditors are there between A to K. It is depend on that. It is not depend on the alphabetic. It is depend on the name of the debtors or the creditors. So alphabetically we have to subdivide this purchase or sales ledger, as well as area wise. If the local area, then one person handle the ledgers of the local area and one person handle the ledger of the outside of the city, right? So here that is also area wise subdivision of general ledger or subdivision of purchase and sales ledger is also maintained. Okay, alphabetically, what means of that? See, we are discussing that here the ledger can be divided on the basis of the name of the person, that is A to N or O to Z, as per the name of the individual accounts that I already discussed. And area wise, considering the sales area of trader, a trader ledger can be classified. Example, accounts of individuals of Gujarat state, accounts of individuals of the Rajasthan state, etc. Accounts of local area. See, whenever in which city you are doing the business, your debtors and creditors of local area is high, right? So you can maintain one. Area wise means what? In the city wise as well as out of city wise, maintain the purchase ledger as well as the sales ledger, that is individuals accounts. Okay, now the general ledger. What is general ledger? The remaining thing. See, other than purchase ledger, that is other than credit purchase, other than sales ledger, that is other than credit sales, debtors or creditors, all the accounts are maintained in one general ledger. That is what, see here, out of the total accounts of the business, except the accounts of the debtors and the creditors, accounts of all the remaining individuals and other accounts are maintained in the other one separate ledger, which is known as general ledger. See, other than creditors and debtors, what any individual accounts are also, that is salary, employees account, or you can say the other creditors. I told you that creditors of furniture, creditors of stationery, other individual accounts as well as other different, all the accounts are maintained at one place, that is called general ledger. Okay, classification of the ledger can be understood with the help of the following chart. See the chart, it is important. See this portion is only important for your theory basis. Okay, I will ask from this the theories. Okay, so you have to please remember, read and remember that carefully. See the ledger, I am asking the chart also. Ledger means what? Here ledger of individuals and general ledger. Now ledger of individuals divided into two, creditors ledger and debtors ledger, that is called purchase ledgers and sales ledger. Now that purchase ledger is also divided into two alphabetically or area wise. Debtors ledger also divided into two alphabetically or area wise. General ledger has no any subdivision, because general ledger, all the main books of accounts, main accounts are affected with the business is purchase ledger and sales ledger. That's why it is divided in subdivision and subdivision. But the remaining all the accounts are maintained in only one ledger, that is general ledger, and that are always a small accounts are very low quantity accounts. Okay, so that is maintained in one general ledger, and the different creditors as the debtors ledger are maintained, and subdivision is also there. So here subdivision of ledger topic is over, right? So first of all, I am giving you 1 minute for that. Please read that. Then we will discuss about our next topic, that is balancing of an account. Read that fast. Read the subdivision, 10th point. Classification of the ledger. All the subdivision of the ledger. See now. Now see balancing an account. See what is balancing an account. See if we are maintaining all the accounts in the books of ledger, right? In the ledger book, if we are maintaining all the accounts, then after that recording or posting of all the accounts in the ledger, then the balance we have to find out. How we have to find out the balance? Making the total. See in the cash book chapter we already know about the closing balance, how we find out the closing balance of cash account, or we can say how we find out the closing balance of bank, as well as see discount has no any closing and opening balance. That's why in the cash book chapter we already know about the balancing. What is balancing? First of all maintain the make the total of debit side of cash account in each and every cash book. Debit side of cash is always high. I told you at that time while we are doing the cash book, debit side cash column total is always high. First of all, make the total on the debit side, write down that highest total on both the side, that is on debit side as well as on the credit side. Now subtract all the credit side items from the total and find out the difference, that is called balance. Okay, so at that time we are writing out the by balance or to balance. On the debit side if we are writing out, then we have to write down to balance. On the credit side if you are writing out, then you have to write down by balance. If the opening balance is there, then we have to write down by balance, to balance, brought down that is BD, or brought forward that is BF, or to balance CD, credit down or credit forward CF. We have to write down at the closing balance. See in detail what is balancing of an account. 11th topic. Process of writing accounts is a continuous process during the whole year. During the year, when trader wants to know the position of the various accounts, he can get the information through the verification of those accounts from the ledger. If I am maintaining the Ramesh account and he is my creditors, right? But after 6 months, if I want to know whatever purchase and whatever amount of rupees of purchase from the Ramesh, and up to 6 months what the amount I am paying. See, it's a continuous process. I am purchasing from the Ramesh and I am paying. I am purchasing and I am paying. That is a continuous process. I am purchasing 2 to 3 days, each 2 to 3 days, or each after 10 days weekly. I am purchasing some goods from the Ramesh. Okay, and I am paying in my convenient time, that is after 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 15 days, I am paying the amount to Ramesh. That means what? One side I am purchasing, one side I am paying. What at which time? See, at one time, that is after 6 months, I have to see what amount I have to pay to Ramesh. That we can find out from the purchase. In the purchase ledger, we can see the accounts of Ramesh, right, and make the total on the debit side as well as the credit side and find out the difference, and that is called balance. And on the basis of balance we can find out that how many amounts I have to pay to Ramesh. Okay, that is the main thing. See here, a process of preparing a summary of an account at the end of the certain period, that is after 1 month, 2 months, 15 days, or 6 months, or 1 year. After certain period, okay, at the end of the certain period is known as process of finding out the balance. That means it's a process of finding out a balance of that account. In order to find out the summary of any account, the difference of the total amount of debit side and on the credit side is to find out, and for difference between the two is known as balance of that account. I already explained you that on the in the cash book, that whatever the debit side total is there, we have to write down that total compulsory on the both the side, and subtract the credit side amount from the total, that is called the balance. As well as if in the bank column total of credit side is high, we have to first see which side total is high, credit side or debit side in bank account, right? In the cash book bank column, we have to see which side total is highest. First of all, make the total on that side, write down that total on the opposite side, subtract the opposite side all the amounts, and then find out the difference. That is called a balance. Okay, balance of that particular account. Let us illustrate the process of the find out the balance accounts by the following particulars and illustration. What is that? First, in order to find out the balance of an account, we need to find the difference between the amount on the credit side and the debit side of the accounts. Example, in the cash account, total amount on the debit side comes to 85,000. See, on the debit side, total is 85,000. Now on the credit side, what is the total? Total is 78,000. See, total is 78,000 means what? If the total is, which total is highest? This one. So we have to write down 85,000 here as well as 85,000 here as a total. Now what? Here the difference is there because here 85,000 total is there, but here 85,000 is not there. So find out the difference between these two, 85,000 minus 78,000, right? So 7,000 is the difference, and this is your answer, that is your balance. Okay, and therefore the difference is of rupees 7,000 is in the balance of the cash account. Okay, now second, the side on which the total is higher in accounts, that amount that's to be returned as a total on both the side, and then we find out the difference. Second one that I already told you, total on which side is higher, we have to write down on the both the side. See, if the total on in the bank account, see, total on the bank account debit side total is 35,000 and credit side total is 65,000. So first of all, make the total. Which side is higher? This side. So write down this side 65,000, 65,000. So whatever the highest total, we have to write down on both the side first of all, and then find out the difference in the here, and that is called 30,000 is the balance of, or you can say debit balance or credit balance of bank account. Okay. Third point, as mentioned above, to find out the balance of an account, the side on which the total is higher, the difference is written higher, the difference is written as a balance carry forward, balance CF, right? On the opposite side, here we have to write down, this one is the balance CF carry forward. Here we have to write down the balance CF, that is carry forward. Okay, see that on the total of the debit side is higher, such amount of difference is said as debit balance, and if it is called on the closing balance of that account. See, in these accounts, which total is highest? This side or this side? This side total is highest, and we are writing out the balance on opposite side. But total on which side is highest, we have to say this is that balance. Means what? Here we are writing out this 7,000 on the credit side, but the total of the debit is highest, and on the basis of that total we are finding out the difference on the credit side. That's why it is called a debit balance. See, on the credit sides, you have to remember one simple thing, that balance on the which side we have to write down that balance. The name of that balance is opposite side. Means here, this side is debit side, this side is credit side. So if we are writing out balance on credit side, that means here total of the debit side is higher, and that's why here by difference is we are writing in the credit side, but it is called a debit balance. You have to remember this compulsory. What is this? Is cash account. This is one. See, this is a cash account. This is your bank account. Okay. So in the cash account, total on the debit side is higher. That's why balance is written on the credit side, and that balance only written on credit side, but it is known as debit balance because the total of debit is higher. That's why it is known as debit balance. Highest total on which side? Again, see that total on the credit side in the bank account is higher, and here we are writing out the balance, and this balance is because of highest total on the credit side. That's why it is called a credit balance. Very easy. Remember, very easy point to remember that here 65,000 total on the credit side is higher, and on the basis of this highest total we have a difference, we have a balance on the opposite side, and because of this, that's why this is called a credit balance. And because of debit side total is higher, this one is said as debit balance. Okay, so this one is called credit balance and this one is called debit balance. I am again reading that. Point number 5. See, it's an important point and it is also useful for the practical one for the further chapters. That is chapter number 10. It is also important what is the debit balance, what is the credit balance, and on which side we have to write down, that we know compulsory. Okay, see that closing balance as found above is treated as a opening balance. Point number 3. As mentioned above, to find out the balance of accounts, the side on which the total is higher, the difference is written as a balance carry forward on the opposite side. This one and this one, right? If the total of the debit side is higher, this one, such amount of difference is said debit balance. This one is called a debit balance, and it is also called a closing balance of that account. This one is the closing balance of cash account. Okay. Similarly, if the total on the credit side is higher, this one, right, amount of the difference is written on the debit side of the last item. After last item, we have to write down this balance as a last item as a balance carry forward, and it is known as a credit balance. This one is known as credit balance, and it is also called the closing balance of that particular accounts. Okay, so point number 3, important point, is over. Now 4th point, the amount of the difference found in the account is shown at the last item in the account, and against this last date is written. Here always I told you that whenever the balance is written, see in the cash book, the point last point of the cash book. What is the last point of the cash book? See that in the chapter number 6. I want to explain you that. Illustration 6. See the illustration number 6. Last transaction. After keeping cash on hand, rupees 2000. That is 2000 is the closing cash balance. I told you at that time whenever we are doing the cash book chapter. After, see the illustration number 6, last entry 31st. After keeping cash on hand 2000, remaining amount deposited into the bank. That amount is deposited into the bank before closing balance? No. Always closing balance is the last point. Always. If we want to deposit any amount, whatever the remaining amount, see, I told you that after recording on the credit side, we have to leave the 2 line for the deposited transactions, and after that we have to write down the 2000 rupees, right? I told you at that time, because that is called a balance. If 2000, this 2000 is called a balance of the cash account. After keeping cash on hand 2000, that means what? It is a 2000 cash balance, and always balance, closing balance is recorded at the end of accounts. Always last item is closing balance on the debit side or credit side, whatever. But the last item compulsory, the main point is that balance is returned compulsory at the end of the account. Okay, before that all the transactions is recorded. Here if we want to deposit any amount from the cash to the bank, then we have to record before the balance, that is before the 2000. That's why I am leaving at that time, leaving 2 lines before that, and then write down here 2000 rupees. And in the difference, find out the difference, and whatever the difference is here, we have to write down before the closing balance. Okay, because this is always, always the closing balance at the is the last item in the accounts. Okay. Now the fifth point, closing balance as found above is treated as an opening balance for the next accounting period. I told you at that time also, whenever we are doing the cash book chapter, whatever the closing balance of cash and bank column, we have to carry forward on this side. The credit side total balance, that is balance by balance CF, that whatever we return in the cash book chapter, we already carry forward into the next month. If the March month is there, we are carry forward. After making the total, we are carry forward on the debit side, that is that closing balance is always opening balance of the next period, next month. Okay, so here closing balance as found out is treated as opening balance for the next accounting period. This opening balance is shown on the opposite side of the closing balance in the account as its first item. Compulsory, we have to write down the first item as opening balance. We already did that in our cash book chapter. If you don't know the cash book chapter, then it is not easy to understand this balance account. Okay, so please, if you are not continue with the all the videos, then please see all the videos of cash book. And it is you, if you want to find out the balance, what is the balance and how we find out the balance, that we already discussed. This chapter we already discussed at that time. Find out closing balance, then carry forward on the opposite side as opening balance. That all these things, these all process, 5 items, we already 5 points we already discussed in cash book chapter. Okay, so this opening balance is shown as the opposite side of the closing balance in the accounts as a first item. This is in the column of the particulars will be written as balance brought down. To balance brought down, BD is called opening balance, CF is called the closing balance. Balance brought forward or balance brought down, BD or BF. In the column of the date, first date of the month of the new period will be returned. That already we discussed about that. While in the column of the amount of the closing balance will be returned. This 7,000 is returned on this side and this 30,000 returned on this side as a opening balance. Okay, see that. Next, in chapter 2 we have studied the 3 types of accounts, their rules: personal accounts, real accounts and nominal accounts. In the personal accounts and real accounts, we might have a balance amount, and that is shown as the balance carry forward at the end of the year. This is shown as the balance brought forward in the next year. The nominal account is closed at the end of the year. See, 3 types of accounts. See here. You have to remember this compulsory. It's most important topic, not for only this chapter. It is also important for the next chapter, that is chapter number 10, trial balance. See the types of accounts I am writing here. I told you at that time and in each and every chapter, that is, this account is a permanent account, this account is also as a permanent account, and this account is a temporary account. These both are permanent account. Okay, and this one only is the temporary account. So permanent account means what and the temporary account means what? Permanent account means the balance of these two accounts, two accounts type is carry forward to the next year compulsory, and whatever the temporary account means what? Here, this account is ended at the end of the year. We don't have to carry forward these all the accounts. See, salary accounts, stationery account, freight account, all the expenses, that is as well as the income, interest account, rent account, dividend account, all the income and expenses accounts are nominal accounts, and it is a temporary account. That's why it is ended at the end of the year. We don't have to carry forward any balance of these accounts. Yes, if we have to pay or if we have to receive, that means receivable and payable is there in this account, that account is carry forward. If rent payable is there, if dividend receivable is there, that account is not a nominal account, that account is a personal account. Okay, it is transferred to personal account. Rent payable is a personal account and only rent account is a nominal account, right? If rent account is there, that means you have to close that account at the end of the year. But if rent payable, that is converted to personal account, that's why that is carried forward to the next year. So please make a difference between these two. Rent account and rent payable account, dividend account and dividend receivable account, all are different accounts. See, only rent, dividend, all our income and expense accounts are nominal account, and it is ended at the end of the year, it is closed. No any balance is carried forward to the next year, always. But personal and real accounts are the permanent accounts, so each and every personal and real accounts carry forward to the next year, and that's why we have to find out the balance of these two types of accounts. If the debtors accounts is there, that is personal, or you can say it's a real account, and balance of debtors we have to carry forward to the next year, because we have to receive some amount right now, but it is not paying right now. That's why it is carried forward to the next year and taking that amount in the next year, right, or next session, next period. Okay, so here that is the permanent and temporary account. See that now. To understand the above particular, let us read the following specimen accounts. Sanjay Traders. See, Sanjay Traders is a party. Okay, and I am selling the goods to Sanjay Traders because on the debit side, 2 sales is written 3 times. 18,000, 21,000, 30,000. That means what? Sanjay Traders is my debtors. Okay, so Sanjay Traders is my debtors. Then I am selling the goods. That's why that is our debtors. Now whatever amount is received from Sanjay Traders is recorded on the credit side. Buy cash, buy bank, buy cash. All the amount, whatever the amount paid by Sanjay Traders to us, that is by cash or through check, that is written on the credit side. And see the total sales to Sanjay Traders is 69,000, but total amount paid by the Sanjay Traders, that is on the credit side as through cash or bank, whatever the transaction is there, but the total is here 41,000. Total payment is 5,000, 16,000, 12,000, 8,000. That is 41,000 amount is paid. So the difference is on the credit side. Debit side total is highest. Credit side you have to return that total, make the difference. That means find out the difference, and that is 28,000, and that is your closing balance of Sanjay Traders. See, on 31st March, buy balance CF, that is 28,000, and that is carry forward on the opposite side, that is on the debit side, and in the next month, April 2019, April 1st, two balance brought forward BF 28,000. That is called balancing. We have to find out the balance like this and also carry forward that closing balance as a opening balance to the next year, next month, next period. Okay, here the explanation is given. I already explained you that. See, then the first point, in any account when the transactions are recorded only on one side, that we said that when in any account transactions are recorded on its one side only, no transactions are recorded on the other side, the balance is found out as per the method stated above only. See the following specimen for this: salary account, again nominal account, right? Salary I have to pay, nothing else. Okay, that is what, that means what, salary account is always debited. No any account is credited to salary account, right? Because that is my expense only, that is not income. That is my expense, and expense always recorded on the debit side. So salary account debit side, two cash, two bank, whatever the transactions is there. See, two bank 25,000, two cash 3,000, two cash 2,000. Only one side, because these are the temporary accounts, and whenever any one side all the accounts are recorded, we have to make the total and write down that total on the opposite side. That is, see here the total is 30,000 on the debit side. No any amount is recorded on the credit side. We have to write down 30,000 as a total on both the side, 30,000 on debit side, 30,000 on the credit side. Now make the difference. See how the difference, full amount is the difference, because no any entry on the credit side. Okay, so here 30,000 full is the closing balance by balance BFC. Always it is written just for your knowledge, but in the nominal accounts no balance is carried forward. Here we have to write down compulsory the profit and loss account, but it is not for this point of view. That's why for better understanding, here just they are writing out the balance brought forward, that is closing balance. Note here the total amount on the debit side. See, this is explanation that we already know about that. So the next point, second point, from the viewpoint of the balance, in any accounts there can be any one situation on the following three situation. See, three situation. What is the three situation? First, credit side total is there, one side total is debit balance means what? I already explained you this topic also. Debit balance means what? In any accounts when the total of the amount on the debit side exceeds the total on the amount of the credit side, the balance obtained as a difference is known as debit balance. I already explained you here. Here debit side total is 85,000, credit side total is 78,000. So here 7,000 is called as debit balance. Again here credit side total is 65,000, debit side total is only 30,000. So the balance 30,000 is called a credit balance. Total of credit side is higher, that's why this balance is called credit balance. Here total on the debit side is higher, that's why on this side the balance is called debit balance. Okay, and the next point is square off. Third topic, square up account. While making the totals in any accounts, if the total on the both the sides are equal and there is no difference of amount, then the account is said as square up or settled. Complete. Debit side total is 65,000, credit side total is 65,000. That means no balance. The account is square up, or you can say total or settled. Okay. So here the illustration number 10 is given. See the illustration number 10. See, I am just explaining you because here it is already, I already explained this topic. So here we just have to see, we don't have to prepare this illustration 10 all the ledgers in our fair book. We just have to see that and understood that. What is first? Capital accounts. Only one side. capital account only one side because capital has always credit balance. So first of all, whatever brought by the owner into the business, that is recorded on the credit side of the capital. See, by cash 50,000, by building 4,20,000. Two things. One is cash, second is kind, that is building, brought in by the owner into the business. That is total 4,70,000 rupees capital as a capital brought in by the owner to the business, and that's why it is a closing balance of capital account. No any drawings is there. That's why on the debit side 2 balance CF, because the total is on the credit side is higher 470. We record that total on the debit side also. There is no any accounts or no any entry on the debit side. That's why full amount, that is 4,70,000, full amount is the closing balance. To balance carry forward. Carry forward, that means closing balance brought forward. BD or BF is equal to opening, CD or CF is equal to closing. Okay, so carry forward 4,70,000. Just like that, building account, furniture account, purchase account, all accounts are there. You can see all the accounts and see the total on the which side is higher, the difference on the opposite side, but it is called that side, that is highest total side balance. Debit side total is higher, then it is the difference is on the credit side, but credit side difference is called debit balance, and the credit side total is higher, difference on the debit side, then it's called a credit balance. Okay, so the example is given, see that example. Now the next point, after the example number 10, see, I already told you in the last account, Ronak Furniture Mart account, 40,000 furniture and 40,000 bank. No balance is there. That means here it's square off. Okay, square up the accounts. See again, first see the capital account. What is the capital accounts balance? Credit side total is higher. That's why 4,70,000 is the credit balance. In the building, debit side total is higher. That's why 420 is the debit balance. In the furniture, 40,000 debit side total is higher. That's why 40,000 is the credit balance in the furniture account. Sorry, debit balance in the furniture account. Purchase, which side? Credit side. That's why it's a debit balance. Sales, which side balance is written on the debit side? That's why it's a credit balance. Jainish account, which side the balance is written? Credit side. That is called a debit balance. See, we just have to remember, if we don't know this all, then balance on which side? We are returning the balance on which side? Debit side. It means a credit balance. If we are returning the balance on the debit side, sorry, on the credit side, it is called a debit balance. Okay, so here in the Jainish account, debit balance, Rajesh account, credit balance, salary account, debit balance, commission received account, credit balance received, that's my income, cash account, again debit balance, bank account, debit balance, and the Ronak Furniture Mart, no balance, that is square up, amount settled. So now capital, building, all this account is given. See the statement prepare on the base of the balance of account. See on the next page, that is the main point. Capital account is which balance? Credit balance. So we have to write down in the debit balance and credit balance column, two column, particulars, debit balance and credit balance, right? Okay, capital, credit balance is there. That's why we have to write down on the credit side, building debit, furniture debit, purchase debit, sales, then credit, Jainish debit, Rajesh credit, salary debit, commission received credit, cash debit, bank debit, and Ronak Furniture Mart dash dash in both the side because account is settled. Okay, so no balance is there. Make the total always the total of these two. If your account is complete and no any error in the posting or in the journal entries, then your total on the debit side debit balance as well as the credit side credit balance is tally. See that 6,48,200, 6,48,200, both the side total is here tally. that is called trial balance. That is our next chapter. See, accounts of Ronak Furniture Mart is square up. So there is no balance. Here in the above prepared statement, the total of the amounts of the debit balance and the credit balance becomes equal. This type of statement is called the trial balance. We will study this in detail in the next chapter, that is in the 10th chapter. This is a trial balance, and this type of statement we have to discuss in our next chapter. Okay, in this chapter we learned that the balance of any account is either debit or credit, debit balance or the credit balance, according to the rules of the debit and credit of the double entry bookkeeping system. Generally, the debit or the credit balance is fixed in any accounts. It is just, we are just recording that on the basis of the double entry system. But the accounts open balance is already fixed. Salary is our expense. That's why salary account always debit balance. Commission is our income. That's why commission received as always credit balance. All the real accounts is our assets. That's why all the real accounts has a debit balance. In the personal accounts, if the liability is there, that's why a credit balance. If the receivable is there, then it's a debit balance. So here all the accounts has fixed their balance. That we will discuss in our next chapter. Okay, so here up to this I told you the homework. See, time for the homework. In the last session, the homework is 7 and 8 sum, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, all sums are now cancelled because of the government. That we will discuss in our regular session. 13 also. No, sorry, 13 and 14. See, question number 13 and 14 is your homework. See, in the 13, pass the following transactions, pass the journal entries in the bank, Bank of Dharmendra. So, don't write this bank account because cash book is there. Only 14, then 15. Cash book is there, so no. Here only one question, 14 is you have to write down in your homework. Okay, so here I hope you understand that, or not, then please see this video again and again. And this one is the most important chapter, this one is the most important topic for the next chapters. Okay, so please see again if you don't understand, and please ask me at any time in our Zoom or any time or in any WhatsApp. Okay, so here I'm complete my lecture. Thank you class, have a nice day, bye bye.